Hey everyone, hope you're having a great night, and in today's video we're going to talk about the driving test criteria. There are a list of things that VicRoads is looking for from you when you go for your drive test. I'm going to go through this list and I'm going to analyze each section to give you a little bit of clarification on each section. So hope this video helps you and enjoy the video. One of the sections of the driving test criteria is speed choice. So you're choosing a safe and legal speed for the conditions. So just observing the speed, keeping up with your environment, dropping the speed if there's roadworks or cars are braking in front of you, etc., etc. So observing the environment, observing the speed limits, the changes to the speeds, and not going too fast or too slow, just keeping up with whatever it's showing around you and making sure that you're keeping safe as you're selecting the correct speed limit. Another one of the sections is called gap selection. So gap selection is just choosing a safe gap in traffic. Okay, so you're going to come up towards a roundabout, small roundabout, medium, a larger roundabout. And there's going to be moments where you should go and moments when you shouldn't go. And it's up to you to be choosing a safe gap in traffic. When you choose this gap, you must not be blocked by any other car or choosing the same gap as another car. So if you're at a roundabout and there's a car next to you and they've decided to go, don't go with them just because they decided. That's their choice. You make your own choice. Like if it's a T and you've got to look left and right and you've got to choose the right time to go, that's one choice. Or if you're at a roundabout, you must see for yourself as to when you're going to go. Okay, so this is called gap selection. You're just selecting a safe gap in traffic. And how do you know if that's safe? Well, one of the ways you can know is once you've gone and taken that gap, do you quickly have to speed up and rush? And do other cars have to brake for you? If the answer to that is yes, that's the wrong choice. So if you're taking a gap in traffic, you must not obstruct other vehicles from their pace, and you must keep up with what's going on around you. Okay, so it has to feel safe and not interrupt existing traffic. All right. Another section of the test criteria is signaling. So if you're turning left down a street somewhere, you want to signal at least 2 or 3 houses back from the street. So don't signal right at the edge of the street or way far away that it looks like you're going somewhere else. But at least 2 or 3 houses before the street, use your signal in enough time. Okay. Also, you're going to think about signaling when you're changing lanes. Okay. So you turn the signal on when you're thinking about changing lanes. You make all your observation and your blind spots. When you're actually moving the car over into the other lane, you want to get all 4 of your tires into the other row. And once you're fully in the other row, then you turn off the indicator. All right, another part of the testing criteria is called observation. So mirrors, scanning, watching other road users, and head checks. So mirrors, before you brake, you check the main mirror because you're making sure that behind you someone is also paying attention to the fact that you're braking. Make sure that it's safe to brake as well. Every time there's a fresh new road, look at the main mirror. It's a fresh road, fresh mirror, fresh conditions. So you're looking at your new conditions. Also, after you've completed your lane change, that's also a fresh new road. So it's a new mirror, the main mirror. Scanning is a few things. Scanning is a general overview of your street, but also, and more importantly, hidden dangers down the side streets. This is a common thing that I always have to push onto my learner that they do not understand whatsoever. Come on guys, scanning, very important. When you're scanning the side streets, the thing is, prior to the street, make sure your eye is going like this, and then down the street a bit, and then the other street, down the street. Because someone could choose not to give way to you for a multitude of reasons and hit into your car. And that's a possibility. So the more aware you are of the possibility of danger, the more ready you are to handle that danger. All right, so that's my big tip for you there. And blind checks, you got to do head checks, blind spot checks. When you're leaving the curb, turn your head, look over. When you're parking, turn your head, park. When you're crossing any bike lane turning left, turn your head. When you're lane changing right or left, also must do a blind check. Very important, the observational part of the test. Alright, another part of the testing criteria is called control. Starting the car, steering, braking, acceleration. Okay, so can you start the car? I know this sounds ridiculous, but some learners forget that the car isn't on at the beginning, okay? So once you do the pre-drive check, the tester usually says, when you're ready, start the car, start the engine, and we're going to head off. Just remember, you must start the car after the pre-drive check. With the steering, you don't want to be moving the steering wheel too much or too little, and you want to have your hand positions in the correct position. So you want to have stability and flexibility with your steering wheel and have a really good control. With the braking, you have to be not jolting around, not making the car jump and jerk. Make it all feel flowy, floaty. And the acceleration as well. Beautiful increase and a beautiful decrease. So you want to create a nice flow in your steering, braking, acceleration, and that's the car control aspect of things. So car control is the main kind of thing that you want to accomplish in the initial stages of driving, and then as you're moving through, you can accomplish more and more things. But the control of the car, the stability of the car, is one of the most important parts of driving. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the sections is car control. Another part of the test is positioning the car. Positioning the car when stopped, keeping a safe following distance, and keeping a safe clearance on each side. Positioning when stopped is how do you pull over to the curb and where do you put your tires to the curb. So I want 2 tires off the road and enough room for the rain to go in the drain. So you do not want to go up the curb or up the grass, but you do not want to stay on the road either. You want to place your 2 tires off the road. This allows other cars to be driving on the road without you obstructing their space, but also you don't want to block the rain from going down the drain. So you want to have this nice happy balance. Also you want to keep a safe clearance on each side. So what that means is, as there are parked cars on each side of you or other things, like it could be cyclists, etc., you want to make sure that you're not obstructing them or causing anyone danger or yourself. So with the other parked cars, make sure that they can open the door and that there's no issue between you two. And with the cyclists, make sure that you're not making them feel uncomfortable and there's enough space, okay, around you. So you're keeping a nice clearance with the environment around you and the obstructions around you. And a safe following distance is a traveling distance. So if you're in traffic and you're driving and the car in front of you is driving and the car behind you is driving, so you want to make sure that you got the 2 and 3 seconds away from each other as you're traveling. So pretty much you should be able to fit like a bus in between you and the car in front of you and the car behind you. Well, you can't control the car behind you, as we all know very well, but you can control the one in front of you. So make sure that you are enough away from them that if they brake, it's not going to be any shock or any possible collision. So you want to keep a safe following distance from the cars around you, in front of you. Now you are allowed to get errors in each of these sections, right? But not too many errors. But then there's also critical errors. So critical error, you're only allowed to get 2 of these in your whole test. What are critical errors? Let's talk about some of them. It's pretty much to do with where you're putting your car, where you're positioning your car. So if there's a thick line at the lights, do not put your tires over the thick line. If you do, that's critical error. If you don't check your blind spot on leaving the curb, on lane changing, crossing a bike lane when you're turning left, that's also a critical error. If there's a pedestrian zebra crossing and you put your car and plonk it down on top of that crossing, that's a critical error. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of critical errors that you could possibly make on your test. You want to avoid as many of those as you possibly can. In part 1 of your test, which is the quiet part, you're allowed to get 1 critical error. In part 2, you can get 1 critical error if you've gotten 1 in part 1. Or in part 2, you can get 2. So in total, you can get 2 critical errors. If you get 2 critical errors in part 1, that's a fail. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to tell you guys. So in all of this kind of assessment of what they're looking for from you, the top of the whole list is this person safe, and are they making very safe decisions? If you are, then you will be able to achieve this license. But if you make too many of these errors, too many critical errors, and too many unsafe moves, then you won't be able to achieve this. Alright, I hope this video has helped you guys, and have a great night. And if you are liking my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks guys, bye!